What's up, world? Top of the morning, it's 4:43 in the AM. I'm on my way to the gym. Today, I want to share one of my workouts with you guys. It's probably going to be different than anything you've seen floating around the interwebs as far as workouts go. All of my training is centered around performance. If your goal is not just to look good, but to be able to move good, get stronger, move better, be more performance-based in your training as opposed to just looking good at the end of the day with it, I want it to be something that you can reference for training. The training is really structured around patterns, so different patterns. And I want it to be like a complete, comprehensive stop for you to be able to watch, reference, learn how to work out in a more performance-based, more performance-oriented style of training. I want to share the secrets and the things that I've accumulated over the course of many long years and long hours of studying so that you can fast track your progress in your training and know that there's other types of training that are geared towards, like I said, performance, being able to move good, look good, move good, get stronger, pack on muscle, get leaner, do all of these things, and be able to take that performance and that ability to be able to know how to move your body to a new level so that way you can get results in whatever that thing that you're pursuing is. So I'm about to pull up to the gym and I'm gonna get this set up and I'll see y'all in a minute. All right, we're back. So I'm about to get into my warm-up section. Generally, my warm-up consists of 4 different exercises. The first one being some sort of movement-based. It really just depends on what I'm doing, what phase of training that I'm in, or what tons of other variables, what I'm considering, what my goal is, what actually needs work at the time. It really just depends. Today I'm going to be doing some shoulder cars, which is just going to help take my shoulders through full range of motion. So that way when I get to my heavier rows, my shoulders and everything feel really good by the time I get there. After that, I'm going to get into some core work, which is going to be 2 exercises, followed by some balance training after that. And that's usually my general setup with training as far as that goes. You know, those are the general sections, but what I do within those sections is different all the time. All right, so shoulder cars. Let's get into these ones to start. Today I'm using plates, these little 2.5s here, to work my grip strength as well. So not only am I hitting my shoulders, but I'm also going to warm up a little bit of my hands with how I'm holding this, and really enjoy this because you're holding it and getting that fingertip squeeze. It's just another way of training outside of like dumbbells or a barbell where we're constantly using like this smaller hand grip. So it's just training your hand in a different position to be able to generate some strength from, I guess, non-traditional position. All right, let's do it. And since this is a warm-up, if I can talk through it a little bit, I'll talk through it a little bit, but no guarantees. Taking my shoulder through full range of motion, even when I get down to that bottom position, under my shoulders and everything. And forward, and then retracting, going out, getting to my full range of motion before I start any rotation work. So I'm really taking my shoulder, that joint, through all of its ranges of motion to maximizing the ability that joint can go through. And since this is a warm-up, I don't need a whole lot of break. It's really get in, get it done. Faster you do the warm-up, faster you can move through the rest of the workout, but make sure that you
are doing quality rest, quality reps. You don't need a whole lot of break time since it's a warm up. So you want to keep the pace going so you can get blood flowing better, get the muscles warmed up. And because it's warm up, it's not nearly as intense or fatiguing. You don't need as much rest time. Maybe 30 seconds max is usually what I do, but minimal rest times preferred during warm-ups. Onward to the next thing. This is going to be one of my core workouts, more isometric focused. This is more gradual way to just warm up my core, get that time under tension, get that mind muscle connection with it. One key tip that I find works really well with this exercise to really lock in your whole body is when you do it, rotate your elbows. So think of your elbow rotating in towards your body. You're gonna feel this lat lock in, and it's gonna give you a really solid position to be able to hold this. And then obviously keep your engagement from your glutes, your abs, your hands, lock in those lats, and then roll out. Distance doesn't really matter for this exercise. Obviously, the further away you get out, the more difficult it is. But if you're just starting out, as long as you're getting a distance that works and you can feel it into your abs, that's good. You can always increase that range of motion, that distance as time goes on, as you get stronger. What I'm thinking of, my glutes are engaged, my abs are engaged, my lats are locked in, those elbows rotating. Hands kind of like how they say with bench pressing, like bending the bar or like having the bar across your back. For squats, bending the bar across your back. Same idea, really applying that pressure into the bar to hold it so you have a solid structure from your hands to your elbows, to your shoulders, to your abs, glutes, and down to your legs. Ooh, ooh. Next thing's next. Knee tucks, reverse crunch, whatever you want to call them. And then now that I've finished the isometrics, now I'm gonna add in some movement with that. So get it into my hand and in, push up here. The roll out, not only do I get my abs going, but warming up my lats with that lock in right there. Also, because I am in a push-up position or high plank, I am getting some of that shoulder work, chest, really the whole body. As you can see, everything is meant to, one, focus on the specific areas that I'm going to be working. So like whatever movement pattern that is. Today's pull day, getting all of those big back muscles, shoulders, lats warmed up, core, definitely my core warmed up from isometric abs, this exercise. And then when I get into balance next, that'll kind of round everything out. Gonna be a little more shoulder focused warm up with those, but also getting some of the additional balance exercise benefits. So warming up the rest of my leg, feet engaged up to my legs and glutes, which I'll probably talk about that in a little bit. But for now, that's enough talking, time to do things. Really, one pro tip here on this one, make sure that your hands are pressing completely flat to the ground. One mistake that I see a lot with people doing anything in this setup is that their hands will do push up like this. They're outside of their hand. Now, push that whole hand flat. if you get wrist pain doing push-ups, that's probably one of the culprits right there. Pro tip number 300, 500, whatever, is push your hands completely flat against the ground. If you want to get a better connection to the ground and just better overall exercises. Cool, balance stuff. Be back in a sec. I was gonna use dumbbells for it, but I decided that I want to keep the theme running with fingertips, plates. So I'm gonna use these for this one. One of the things that I like with balance work is, one, it helps with building individual leg control, being able to engage your muscles from your foot up to your hip. And here I'm going to be holding a hinge, so pushing this hip back so the butt comes back and slightly up, squeezing through my glutes, my toes are grabbing down, arms are relaxing, so I'm going to come up for a Y, I, up. Similar to those shoulder cars, in that motion, but one thing that you can't really see in that setup is as my arms are coming down, I'm really focusing on retracting my shoulder blades, so squeezing my shoulder blades back. And then as I'm pulling my arms down, I'm thinking of pulling my shoulders down to the floor. So using my shoulder blades, I'm thinking of squeezing it back and then dropping them down. And then holding that position for a second, which is gonna get those traps warmed up, so getting some blood flowing through my traps to help round out the rest of this workout. Warm up. So once I finish this, I'll get into my main lifts, which is going to be some rowing, some horizontal pulling, vertical pulling. So horizontal pulling would be rows. Vertical pulling would be exercises like lat pull downs and pull-ups, neither of which I'm doing. Nonetheless, it's a good vertical pull exercise that really will help your pull-ups out. All right, last one, and then we move on. Just to finish these warm-ups in as quick a time as possible. So I'll do my first exercise, take as short of a break as I need, go right into the next one, keep the rest as short as I need, and just knock them out. Or another way that I'll go about it would be in a vertical load. So I'll do it like as a circuit where I'll go exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go back up to the top, which makes it a little quicker because I don't have to take that little rest period in between each set, because each different exercise is working different muscle groups. So it's easier for me to just set it up as a circuit, go exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, and then take my break. All right, that's it for this. Next one is a total body row. This is the first of my rowing exercises, or the first of my pull day exercises. My front leg, a lot of my weight is forward, front leg heavy. So this leg is what's pushing into the ground as I drive and rotate. So all those same balance foot muscles, toes grabbing down, driving that midfoot into the ground, firing up in through my glutes. That pressure on the front leg is what's driving the weight. And then obviously the rotational aspect, core work to rotate, pull back, up in through my back, and then rotating, pulling back. So, boom, total body row. When I weight pull, I'm rotating my arm, so I'm internally rotating so I can get as much stretch into my lats, let that weight pull, get a really big stretch, and then driving back, because that's where you're gonna get a lot of muscle growth, is those fully lengthened positions. So you can really stretch those muscle fibers, and you have to learn how to engage them from that lengthened position, and that's where you're gonna really get a lot of muscle gains. But that's where you're also gonna improve your range of motion, because you're pushing that range of motion each time, showing your body how to engage from these different positions. Okay. All right. Exercise next. Just a basic tripod row. Not total body, but just more focused on the traps and lats. As I'm doing the row, I'm gonna do a neutral grip. So that first rotational row, as I was going, I went pronated to supinated. Now I'm just gonna focus on this neutral grip. That's gonna be my next exercise. The heavier, more intense lifting you're doing, obviously the more rest period you need, the lighter the work, the less rest period you need, which can vary by exercise. I think rest periods are a good gauge to use and have like general recovery timelines, at least if you're looking at it from like the neurological end, like with power training. It's not necessarily your muscles that need the recovery, it's your neurological system. Right now, because my goal is more performance, strength-based, but also muscle-based, I do want to build some muscle, so that dictates a lot of what I do. Generally, what I try to do is really focus on my breath work between sets, getting my heart rate back under control, because that's really all tired is. It's just your unconditioned amount of breath. It's really about managing your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose as much as you can. Obviously, the sets get tough. Do the mouth breathe thing, but bring that focus back to your breath, or back to your nose. Breathing in and out of your nose. The inhales, your body's going to release nitric oxide. And the only way to do that is through breathing through your nose, which helps to dilate those blood vessels. So you're going to get better blood flow, better nutrient delivery. You're going to clear out your muscles as well, so getting all of that carbon dioxide out, better oxygen delivery, so you're going to get more blood and oxygen to those muscles, so you're going to recover faster. When you breathe out through your nose, you're not letting as much moisture out as if you breathe through your mouth. So when you breathe through your mouth, you're going to dehydrate yourself faster. And for performance, you don't want to be dehydrating yourself. So, all right, scaptions are going to be next. So, I've done my 2 exercises with horizontal pulling, so row type exercises, and now I'm going to get into some vertical pulling. And as you noticed, I had a wardrobe change, which is not just to show off my wonderful, amazing, awesome, chiseled, peeled back, but more so that you could see what I'm doing, because it's kind of a more subtle exercise, just so you could see like the mechanics of how my back moves when I'm doing this and what I'm focusing on. So I'm gonna do like a neutral grip, so palms close together, and then I'm gonna do a wide grip version of it. All right, so as you can see, the goal is to let my arms hang, let them hang, and only using my shoulders and my upper back to pull. So I'm thinking while I'm doing that hang, pulling my head away from my shoulders, trying to like pull my shoulder blades down to the floor, drop them. Similar to what I was saying with those cobras, there are those, that balance hinged exercise I was doing earlier. Same thing, doing that cobra kind of, well, minus the retraction. So instead of retracting the shoulder blades, pulling them back and then down, dropping them, I'm just thinking of the second portion. I'm just pulling my shoulders down so I can get as much separation between my shoulder blades and my head. The different grip position just kind of biases where the muscles are engaging, or like how my muscles are engaging. Close grip really takes the focus more towards the center of the back, whereas the wider grip, for me personally, I feel more in my lats. So then it becomes more of a lat movement as opposed to a mid back. Now, I mean, I'm still getting my whole back engaging. But middle position kind of brings it a little more towards those middle traps, whereas wider grip brings it more towards the lats where I feel it. So, all right, last sets. You may have noticed I started with the wide grip this time, and you may be asking yourself, well, why did you start with that one? Surely there's some very scientific reasoning between why you started from middle ones to the wide, and then wide back to the middle ones. And there is absolutely nothing behind why I did that. I just felt like starting there. So I did. All right. I'm gonna go find clothes and be back for the next exercise. What better way to finish out than with some bicep curls. Typically the last exercise, since I'm already pretty well fried, is some kind of easier accessory, smaller body work that just fits in nicely. So this is the last exercise. This is generally the setup that I use when it comes to my training. You know, I have my warm up, which, don't get me wrong, it's still work, but it's not nearly as neurologically taxing or energy depleting as like big heavy compound lift. My core training today was focused on flexion and extension and anti-flexion and extension. So anti-flexion and extension would be that barbell rollout where I was just holding that isometric, followed by the flexion and extension where I'm taking my core through movement, and then the balance work where I get my balance training in. This is very specific training, very focused towards improving performance, not just looking like you have performance, but actually being able to have that total body understanding, how you move, how your body moves as one, so you could be able to take that strength, that power, transfer it to whatever it is you're doing. Everything builds on one another. Every exercise should have a specific purpose, a reason why you're doing it, so that way you can maximize what you're doing, how you're spending that time in the gym. Workouts should flow as one during them, but also flow as one piece of the whole in your training. Woo! All right. That is my workout for the day. Okay, so that is all I have for today. That's my workout. That's generally what I do. And then the factors like sets, reps, rest periods, all of that changes based on what I'm doing. I didn't really cover those today because it's very situation specific. I just want you to be able to take these concepts or exercises or anything that you picked up from this video, apply it to your training. You know, if your goal is strength versus endurance, obviously those sets, reps, and rest periods are gonna change. If you want, I could do a video on this later, but for now, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, do things, and yes, now I will see y'all on the next one. See ya.